boys and girls, it's story time with Miss Laurie, and today is our alphabet story time, and we did the letter A last month, so today we're doing the letter B. Can you think of some words or names that start with the letter B? Well, first let's start with our alphabet song, okay? Ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Thank you. All right. So let's think of some things that start with the letter B. Maybe your name starts with the letter B. Let's see. Ben or Brody, Bryce. Let's see some girls' names. Some girls' names like Beth or Betsy or Brandy. Those are all girls' names that start with the letter B. Maybe your last name starts with the letter B. Okay, maybe you have a pet with their name being a letter B, like I have a dog named Bella, and that starts with the letter B. Okay, can you think of any animals that start with the letter B? First one for me, I think of a bear. Bear starts with the letter B. Yep, the bear agrees with me. Anything else? Let's see. Well, our craft today, we're turning this B into a beaver. Beaver starts with the letter B, okay? If you haven't picked up your craft yet, we still have some available. B, 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 B. Oh, I know. What about butterfly? Butterfly starts with the letter B. So does bumblebee and beetle. Can't think of any more right off the top of my head. Let's see. Other things starts with the letter B? I know. Ball. Ball starts with the letter B. Okay. And what the ball does? Bounce. Bounce starts with the letter B. Okay. Oh, I got one. Probably wouldn't be thinking about this one at this time of the year, but at Halloween, you might. Ooh, do you know what this is? It's a bat. And bat starts with the letter B. Okay, let's see. Something that we're wearing a lot of lately because of all the snow. Have you guessed yet? What about boot? Boot starts with the letter B. So we have our boots here. I know. What about broom? Broom starts with the letter B. Okay. And let's see if I can pull this up before it makes any noise. Are you ready? Let's see. Bell. Bell starts with the letter B. I think I'm going to put the bell in the boot. Oh, I have another one right here. Oh, here's one. Box. Sometimes that's your favorite letter B because you might get a present in it. Box comes with, it starts with the letter B. And bucket. Bucket starts with the letter B, and that's where I had all my B things in the bucket. And can you think of one more? Let's see. Are you ready? Bubbles start with the letter B. Okay. So let's get started. We'll sing our hello song. Are you ready? Let's start clapping our hands. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. With all my friends, it's story time. We clap and sing hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to bring my bear back. I told you I was going to. If you don't have a bear handy, maybe your favorite book buddy is a dog or a bunny. It starts with the letter B. And just, we can go ahead and use it. But I'm going to sing about a bear. Ready? Okay, here we go. Turn around so you can see you. Ready? Hug, hug, hug your bear. Squeeze him very tight. Hold him up. Oh. Help him fly. Then hug with all your might. Give him a great big bear hug. Go ahead. Big hair hug. Oh, all right. That's enough of the bear today. Okay, my first story, well, actually both stories either start with the letter B, or something that the story's about starts with the letter B. So my first story is called Bark, George, Bark, B, Bark. Bark, George, by Jules Pfeiffer, and we have permission from HarperCollins Children's Book Publishers, so I can share this book with you today. George's mother said, "Bark, George." George went, "Meow." Is that what a dog's supposed to say? "No, George," said George's mother. "Cats go meow, dogs go arf. Now bark, George." George went quack, quack. What kind of animal makes quack, quack sound? "No, George," said George's mother. "Ducks go quack, quack. Dogs go arf. Now bark, George." George went oink. "No, George," said George's mother. "Pigs go oink. Dogs go arf. Now bark, George." George went moo. What animal says moo? Yes, a cow. George's mother took George to the vet. "I'll soon get to the bottom of this," said the vet. "Please bark, George." George went meow. The vet reached deep down inside of George and pulled out a cat. Oh my goodness. "Bark again, George." George went quack, quack. The vet reached deep, deep down inside of George and pulled out a dog. That's right. "Bark again, George." George went oink. The vet reached deep, deep, deep down inside of George and pulled out a pig. Okay, "Bark again, George." George went moo. The vet pulled on his longest latex glove. Then he reached deep, 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 deep down inside of George. And pulled out a cow. "Bark again, George." George went arf. All right. Now he's talking dog. George's mother was so thrilled that she kissed the vet and the cat and the duck and the pig and the cow. On the way home, she wanted to show George off to everyone on the street. So she said, "Bark, George." And George went. What do you think George said? Yikes. George said, "Hello." I think we should leave it at that, and you can talk about it with your parents. Okay. Now, get rid of some of this stuff. I have a lot of stuff here for us today. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to bring out some more animals. Yes, the bear will be back, well, except not this bear. But it doesn't have anything to do with these animals. It has to do what we will be on. Okay? How many of you have been on a boat before? Okay, how many of you have been on a rowboat before? Yeah, I don't think I've been on a rowboat. I've been on a canoe. It's sort of the same thing. I think the Navy would be upset if I refer to the aircraft carrier as a boat, but it's a boat. So, we're going to do an old song. You probably don't know it. And it's called Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And you can row like this. Just move your arms back and forth. Or you can go like this. Or you can go like this, okay? I'm going to do this, okay? So you do it any way you feel comfortable. And we're going to sing the first lyrics to Row, Row, Row Your Boat. But then we're going to change it up a bit, okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merry, life is but a dream. That's the old song. We're going to sing this way. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see out onto it, crocodile, don't forget to scream. Ah! There's my crocodile. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. Ready? Row, row, row your boat gently to the shore. If you see a lion, don't forget to, what does a lion do? Roar! All right. And now, I have to find the rest of it. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. I got to figure out where it was. I have them all over the place here. Okay. Row, row, row your boat gently down the river. If you see a polar bear, don't forget to shiver. It's cold where polar bears live. Okay, I have one more, and I'm not quite sure. Oh, I found it. Okay. I have a lot of stuff all around me. Here we go. This is the last one. Row, row, row your boat gently down the creek. If you see a little mouse, and this is exactly what I would do if I saw a little mouse, don't forget to squeak. Squeak, 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 squeak. But I would probably do, ah, like the crocodile. All right, put them back by the boot. There we go. Now, I have to get rid of some of my stuff. My next book is the one that has something in it that starts with the letter B. And my shirt has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons. Can you guess what it is? It's a pretty popular book, one of my favorites. And it is called Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons by Eric Litwin. Art by James Dean, the creator of Pete the Cat, with permission from HarperCollins Children's Books Publishers. All right, here we go. Ready? Pete the cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. Let's count the buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Maybe you know this book already and you can sing with me. Please, please, please sing with me. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Okay. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Do you know how many buttons? Started off with 4 and 1 rolled away. So how many does that leave? 1, 2, 3. Okay. There it is. 3. Great big number 3. Maybe some of you were 3 years old. Here we go again. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Uh-oh, pop! Oh, no! Can you see that with me? Oh, no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? So last time we had 3. You take 1 away, that's 2. 1, 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Uh-oh, what happens? Pop! Oh, no! I heard you that time. Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? We had 2. Another one rolled away. How many is this? 1. Very good. 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come, buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Yep, it happened again. Pop! Oh, no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? How many buttons are left? 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button. And he kept on singing his song. It's all good. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go, but do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. The end. Okay, that was fun. Before I get any farther, I'm going to try to make some room here and let you know that starting next week, in fact, If you came and picked up your craft, you got the new March calendar. And what's so exciting about this is that starting next week, it's not even March yet, starting next week after President's Day, we're welcoming you back. We want you to come back and see us. You can come back into the library. And so next Wednesday, instead of doing this, I hope you all come back and we can do it in this room together again, okay? So, the calendar has on March 1st, we have Night Owls, and it will be here. You can wear your pajamas. I'll have book buddies ready for you, and you can bring your own book buddy, okay? And then all of our story times will be here, and hopefully it will stay that way. And we have a lot of other programs. There is one little mistake. You may not get, if you get a calendar from your craft bag, then it will have a mistake on it. If you get one from the library, it should be okay. But it's on March 31st, the very last day, at 3:30. There will be a Mario Kart video game tournament, and it says for ages 11 and up, but it's actually from grades 1st through 6th, and you do have to register because there is a limited space for it, okay? So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you all. I know some of you have come in. Okay, let me get my craft out. So we're making a beaver out of this bee. How are we going to do that? Let's see. Well, first of all, I wanted to show you a picture of a real beaver. Here's a picture of a real beaver in the wild. Okay? And here's where they live, and it's called a beaver lodge. Okay? And I also have a little beaver here. Okay? And so we're going to put this together. Let me find my glue. I have my glue right here. Okay, I'm getting my bee, and I'm going to put it on the table facing this way, just like that, with the line on one side and the 2 bumps on the other, okay? All right. And in your little kit, you should have the tail, okay? And you should have, I don't think these are ears, but we can say that they're ears, but they're going to be used for something else that may not make you think that they're ears, okay? Find my 2 eyes. I have my 2 eyes, and of course beavers have these great big teeth in the front because they gnaw on wood. So there's its nose and its teeth. So get our glue stick out, and we can go ahead and just glue the tail, and you're going to put a little bit glue on the pointed part. You don't put the whole piece in glue. Cover it with all glue, and you're going to put it right here on the back. Okay, and so you see some of it, and the other part is glued to the back. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put the nose and the teeth on. So you need to put glue just on the circle part, not on the teeth. Okay, so I'll put some glue on there. Here we go. And we're going to put it right here. And I'll show you where I put it. See? Just like that. Okay, then we're going to take those 2 things that look like or like ears. And you would think you would have them like this, but you're actually going to turn them around this way and put glue on the back. Okay, you're going to put one on one side at the very top. This is going to be hard to see probably, but I'll show you anyway and point it out. See, you're going to put them up like this. The circle or the round edge is on the bottom, and the flat straight line is at the top. And you do the exact same thing with the other one. If you made them into ears, don't worry about it, okay? Did you know that it was a beaver, or did you think it was like a dog or something, if you already put yours together? Don't worry about it. It's perfect. The whole idea is that it's a bee. Okay, so let's Put this one next to that. Okay, same thing. The straight line goes on the top, just like that. I know it's hard to tell because it's the same color. Then you get your little eye, and you got 2 of those, and you put some glue on there. Oh, don't need as much as Miss Laurie did, but that's okay. And you put it on one of them. Just like that. And then you take the other one, turn it over, put glue on the back. That time I didn't use as much glue. And put it on there like that. I have to admit, it does look like a beaver. Okay, there is our B for beaver. All right. Oh, got sticky hands now. Okay, I have one more thing that I wanted to show you. This was actually my favorite piece. That's kind of heavy, so I didn't want it in the way. And it actually has 3 things that are B. This was given to me by a co-worker, someone who used to work here at the library. And it's very special to me. There you go. And can you see all the B words on it? Well, of course, we've got B for bear, bear, okay? And they are sitting on a bed. Bed starts with B. And my very favorite thing, look at this. They're reading a book. Book starts with the letter B. It also plays music, but I don't think you would understand the song or remember it or know it. It's an old song, but I love it. So that's all I have for you today, boys and girls. It was fun doing these programs. I much prefer doing them in person because I really like looking at you and not looking at myself. But whatever it takes, and go around your house, or when you're driving in the car, not you driving, but mom, dad, caregiver, grandma, grandpa driving, then look around for things that start with the letter B. I just gave you a few ideas. I'm sure there's a lot more out there. The color blue. Oh, there's another thing. These have blue on, so blue starts with the letter B. Okay? So you guys have a great day. Have a good long weekend. And I hope to see you next week at the library for story time. Take care, everybody. Guess what? Bye-bye. Bye-bye starts with the letter B. Bye-bye.